When you think Dell Alienware, you don't exactly think cheap, but in Toasty Bros fashion, we asked Dell for their cheapest Alienware desktop.
And they were happy enough to send it over to Toasty Bros HQ for us to unbox, give an honest review about everything about this Alienware, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And on paper, the price seems a little bit interesting. Is it gonna be good price performance though? We're gonna unbox it and find out after a word from today's sponsor.
Now, I don't travel internationally all the time, but when I do, I love it. In fact, my most recent trip outside the US was to Aruba. And one thing that made traveling so much easier was today's video sponsor, Saily. If you've ever traveled abroad, you know just how annoying it is to try and find Wi-Fi everywhere you go. Dealing with those insane roaming charges and trying to find a local SIM card when you land can be really annoying. Saily solves all that with a simple eSIM app that works in over 200 destinations worldwide. Before my trip, all I had to do was download the app, pick my plan, and install my eSIM. Then when I arrived, I was connected automatically and I didn't have to wait in those crazy long airport lines to try and get a SIM card right when I landed. What I really like is that Saily also includes built-in security features. You can change your virtual location, block malicious ads, and even protect yourself with built-in web protection. Plus, it even has support for Android and iPhone, so no matter what device you use, you can stay connected. If you have any travel coming up, whether it's a weekend getaway or even international vacation, download the Saily app and use code ToastyBros at checkout, or head to saily.com/ToastyBros to get an exclusive 50% discount on your data plan. Thanks again to Saily for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it.
So this is the Dell Alienware Aurora. We don't know if it gets more specific than that, because you used to have like R11 and all these different numbers, but I don't know, they kind of went basic, and this was the cheapest one that we saw on Amazon, but Dell actually sent it to us, so there's always a chance that they didn't send us the base model.
And this base model comes in at $14.99, which is pretty crazy to have your base model PC being $14.99, but hey, it is 2026, stuff is expensive. But the specs of this PC are as follows. We have an Intel Core Ultra 7 265F processor, which is a 20-core, 20-thread processor with an RTX 5060 Ti, 8 gig, I believe. They don't specify on the actual listing if it's 8 or 16. The most wasteful box I've ever seen. It literally just has a power cord in it.
I think they use it for like packing.
I would assume, yeah, it doubles the packing. I guess that works. 16 gigs of DDR5 memory, a 1TB Gen 4 SSD, and, oh, they did send the one with the cooler, we thought.
Ooh, yeah.
A very interesting cooler that's gonna make this Ultra 7 maybe run not as well as it should. We'll see, but on paper, I will say that looks like a cooler from like the Dell Optiplex era.
One thing that's interesting is it ships just like a, I mean, not to not give Dell credit here, but it kind of ships like an HP.
It does.
Where they don't go crazy on the packing foam, which I've always kind of appreciated when they can ship a system like this safely. But I mean, it's definitely larger than Invictus, and obviously it's Alienware. And you know, it's crazy to think about. We say it's expensive, but think about when we were kids. I remember Dell always had those really cheap mini, like the little SFF Alienwares that sometimes didn't even have graphics cards, and they were like $700 starting.
So it is typical in Alienware fashion, and if you watch the Toasty Bros channel, the one thing we really like on the used market is used Alienwares, because for whatever reason, they don't keep their value, because one, I guess they're sold overpriced already, and then when someone sells it on the secondary market, they're just trying to get rid of it. So normally you get some really good deals on some older gen Alienwares, but we don't normally look at the new stuff and what you actually get for that price.
And if you're interested, we did do a video where we did their cheapest laptop, and that one I remember was overpriced as well, but it was built really well. And I feel like we're gonna get similar vibes here. I mean, I guess if you compare the build quality to, like, let's just say an Omen 16L or something like that, this is pretty nice. I mean, we have a pretty nice panel. I will say it is acrylic, but it does have airflow in it, which is cool. And it just looks fancy. I mean, let's be honest, it looks like an Alienware.
So this peel comes off. So we got a front peel right here.
Yeah, there's a lot of packing material.
Go ahead and remove. I was gonna say, there's like a lot of dust buildup on this back panel. I mean, just like, look at this thing.
Maybe cardboard
Like, I
buildup?
guess just cardboard dust from traveling, but honestly, if you're gonna have that, might as well have a peel on this one too, because, well, whatever, but it's not the end of the world. It doesn't look like it's scratches or anything.
It looks like we're gonna have our usual RGB, like, you know, kind of ring. I will say the front is funny. If you show them the side, it looks like a Dyson, like one of those Dyson.
Oh, it has like the
tower.
little Dyson fan look to it. The airflow, I mean, there is airflow in the sense that there is this opening and then there is ventilation up front. This thing is gonna need airflow because that Ultra 7, I believe under full load, I looked this up, it can peak up to 185 watts.
That's insane, dude.
But this board, obviously, with this cooler is going to limit it. We just gotta see how much is going to be limited.
Yeah, like, will it limit it almost to like an i5 or Ultra 5? And that's kind of, you know, this is the type of spec config that we don't normally like. I mean, at the end of the day, in Ultra Ultra 5 would perform just as good, maybe even the exact same with this GPU, with the board being as low end. I mean, if you look, there's no heat sinks on any of the VRMs. I don't even know if like the North and South bridge have any heat sinks. So they could just put like an Ultra 5 or like a Ryzen 5 in there, and this thing would probably run cooler and more efficiently and get the same FPS.
And this is a very proprietary board in the sense that it will not fit in anything else. Like you see the layout of this board, it is very weirdly shaped. And the power connectors, I think, are kind of weird too. It looks like ATX.
They're all, yeah.
Yeah, it's all proprietary.
It only has a 4-pin single 4-pin for CPU power.
That is interesting.
Oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry, ATX CPU 1, ATX CPU 2.
So 8.
So
okay.
we at least have an 8-pin. And I'm noticing we originally thought we were going to get 1 stick, right, of RAM. This one, they sent 2 8-gig sticks, so we actually have dual channel DDR5.
Wow. I did not expect that. Honestly, normally when you see 16 gigs of DDR5 in anything nowadays, it is single channel because they just split up a 32 gig kit to save money. But the fact that they went the dual channel route actually is pretty cool.
This is pretty wild, dude. This is our whole entire, I think, motherboard power. It's kind of like, you know, your typical like HP and all those, where they don't have a 24-pin. They have a tiny little, basically like an extra 8-pin. We do have room for expansion. I mean, we have a hard drive slot. They can also take an SSD. They do give us the SATA cables down here. We can see our 56 Ti actually uses the 16-pin, which is cool. Some of them do, some don't. But
it uses an adapter too.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's adapted because the power supply is also proprietary. It's like a little SFX one.
Oh, it is really small, and it's 500 watts, which wattage-wise for upgrade room not amazing, but it will work. I mean, we've pushed pretty crazy power supplies, and we're as a channel ones that say you don't really need as much watts as you really think you do. No. Under full load, I'd imagine what maybe 350 watts the system would pull. Maybe that 5060 Ti with an 8 gig model is not going to be super crazy. I will say I said 8 gig. I can't 100% confirm it's the 8 gig because the Amazon listing doesn't even say if it's an 8 gig or not.
Yeah, and the card doesn't say anything either. I'd be shocked if it was 16 gig. The value would be a little better here. Yeah. I mean, a good amount better because the 16 gig is expensive, but we're going to assume it's the 8 for now, and we'll update you guys once we get into Windows. I think that first boot was just on its own. You might be able to press the little alien button now, and there we go. I mean, it is Alienware. Look at the RGB, which is that worth paying extra for? Probably not for most people, but it does look cool. You are getting the name brand if that's something that matters to you. And build quality on these are always pretty good.
And in terms of the case layout, I mean, we don't want to talk about this, but we might as well go over some of the ports that you have. You do have a combo headphone jack and 3 USB 3s plus a USB Type-C up front. That's pretty cool to have. And again, the case I don't hate. I honestly think the case is pretty decent compared to everything. And the I/O on the back, what are we looking at, Jackson?
Just a few more. We get 2 more USB 3s, 2 USB 2s, some more. I mean, it's pretty good actually. USB-Cs, Ethernet, and we have like our main audio jacks as well as fiber optic in the back.
So this, again, Jackson mentioned, this falls very in line with like an HP Omen or something from like Acer or one of those lines where it is like a console in a sense where you kind of use it. You have some upgrade room, but not much. For the most part, you're going to use this thing for its life and then you're going to sell it and move on. Yep. This is a whole different space that's different than the custom DIY PC building space. But at $1,500, normally with those builds, you're saving some money. They're normally streamlining the assembly process to where they can make these builds cheaper, and then you're kind of just like okay with the fact that it's proprietary and you can't do much upgrades. But at this price, I don't know. We'll have to see at the benchmarks, but so far it did show up in a somewhat working condition. I guess we'll boot into Windows to see if there's any bloatware we need to talk about, and then dive into some gaming. All right, guys, we are kicking things off on this Alienware with the new Lego Batman game, which just came out recently. It's actually getting a lot of really good reviews. I think a lot of people are very desperate for a new Batman game, but this one's actually pretty fun. I'm about an hour in. Currently, we're running the following settings. We're running 1440p. We had DLSS set to quality, and then we're running a high preset, the high preset in the game. And yeah, things are looking pretty decent. Let's go ahead and pause here and hit page up, and let's see what kind of FPS we can get. This game does look pretty dang good on these settings. Runs really well, and it's a fun just Lego game that's a little bit different than traditional Lego games in my opinion. It's not like the traditional style where you're just unlocking characters all the time. You're really just running through as Batman, and you do get other characters, but the fight styles are actually pretty cool. It reminds me of like the Arkham Knight series that was really popular. So runs really well, and this PC's handling it pretty decently. And it still has that classic Lego humor in it. So if you guys love Lego series games, this one's definitely worth taking a look at, and it runs pretty well, looks good. Now, you can see the one thing that we're obviously a little bit concerned with is the CPU temperature. Right now our CPU is only running about 70 to 80 watts, which is much lower than it should be. And there are some points where loading in, where initially the CPU hasn't reached a high enough temperature, that it does hit, I am Batman, that it does hit 105 degrees at one point and then throttles way back down. So, Dell, this PC is already expensive as is. Include a tower cooler, please. Just include a slightly bigger tower cooler with a CPU like this. Yeah, this game's not too bad. Actually, it looks like this spot's actually more demanding than the rest of the game has been, because now we're getting 70 to 80 FPS at this point, but details looking really sharp. And performance is fine. I mean, we're running an 8 gig card right now at 1440p. We're not totally maxing out the VRAM. This is running pretty dang good. Let's go ahead and use this as a point to swap to another game, but kind of what we're seeing here. Obviously, 5060 Ti is doing what it's supposed to do, 8 gigs of VRAM. CPU is running hotter than it should. This should either be a lesser CPU and the whole PC should be cheaper, or there just needs to be a dang tower cooler or liquid cooler by default, especially at this price point. But let's go ahead and see what other games show. All right, guys, next game up is PRAGMATA, and we're running the following settings. We are at 1440p, no upscaling this time, running medium texture quality on high settings, and mostly high across the board. A few settings turned off here and there, but the key is no upscaling here, and we're going to hit page up to see what kind of FPS we're getting. Now, I went ahead and spawned in this area, which is normally the most demanding part of the game. And we're at about 90 FPS on average, 1% lows in the 60s. But there's just a lot going on in this scene, a lot of different lighting and things happening around. And a lot of budget PCs tend to really struggle with this area. So I'm gonna start benchmarking this area more often where I can. But I did manage, and you guys will see right here before I get into some action, when compiling shaders on this game, the CPU reached 105 degrees Celsius. I had to get it on camera at least to show you guys. I've kind of said my bit with the last benchmark run, but it is what it is. I mean, when you put a little cooler on this i7, that's kind of what you're gonna expect. All right, let's see how she holds up. Hello, buddy. Hello, big baby. Okay, you can back up now, that's fine. All right. These large babies. Oh, are you running away? Seriously? You're just making it a little easier on me? That's fine. I'll do that. Oh, you're getting ready to pounce. You're ready to pounce on me. Oh, that's a good hack. Let's do one of these. Boom. Come on. You ain't gonna hit me with that laser. You ain't gonna hit me with that. Oh, it has the frickin' blocks on. Oh God. Can't do anything until I break the blocks. Can I do it with one shotgun wave? Almost. Oh! Alright. I was saying, show me your face. Oh, we're done. Here we go. Finishing move. Let's go. Alright, guys. Average about 80 FPS, 1% low of 60. For a AAA title like this, running higher details without upscaling, the games are running fine. It's just the price. And we're gonna have Jackson play another game, a game that we haven't played in a while, by the way. Just because we were talking about it, I felt like we should throw it back and see what kind of performance we can get on it. We're gonna dive into some Call of Duty, and then we'll wrap this video up and come to our conclusions about this PC.
All right, guys, we're playing a throwback game that's still pretty played, Call of Duty Modern Warzone fare. And we're currently at 1440p running the balanced preset, DLSS set to balanced on the CNN model. I feel like that wasn't even there last time, that you could do CNN. And then kind of like, I almost called it optimized settings.
Pretty much what the balance preset does.
That's true. It's been a long time since I've done this. I genuinely forgot. Oh my God, there's people. Oh, dude, I'm in the late drop zone. And he don't want me, baby.
He don't want you.
He don't want me, baby. Oh. Yeah, take that.
Let's go.
Take that. Dude, I'm about to get hella kills right here. This is the spot to drop, apparently.
Wait a minute. Oh no, they found you.
Oh gosh, this guy knew about it.
That's it right there.
Now, one thing that we're just gonna harp on over and over again is this stock cooler is like insane that they would even do this because this thing is a Ultra 7 and it can boost up to 180 watts. Now, most of you guys at home, you're not gonna notice that. You're just gonna be like, you're just gonna be playing your game like this, right? And you're like, it plays fine, who cares? It's just the fact that you're paying for an Ultra 7, you're probably gonna be getting like Ultra 5 at most performance, because this cooler is like a 65 watt cooler.
I mean, right now we're literally, look, that's the number you're talking. Like, we're at 60 watts on the CPU,
Yeah.
3.7 gigahertz on a CPU that should boost up to 5.2. Like, we're really just holding this thing back. Not like the performance is bad at all,
No.
it's just the fact that you're getting an Ultra 7 and you're not really utilizing all that Ultra 7.
I think at the end of the day, it's like, I think I'm starting to want to complain about this more with companies. If you're going to do these weird spec configs, you guys need to like make it make sense. And like Matt said, we can buy a cooler on Amazon for $15, a tower cooler, and it works great, right? So it's like they can't cost these companies that much.
Oh.
I'm back, baby. Ya boys.
Oh, he's back in the COD. I think there's someone in there.
I guess I reset.
Maybe.
That was weird. I saw it move. Is everyone just AFK in this game now? Does no one play it?
Or did they throw us out a bottle because I haven't been in here for so long?
That's true. You're probably gonna get banned any minute now.
Probably.
This is exactly what happened to me.
This is why Jax hasn't played. He's been banned forever.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Oh! We get paid today! Oh my gosh. Can we get a replay of that? Editor. Oh, that Omni movement.
Come on. God, I hate this guy. you sneaky
little
feller.
Little looger,
You little sneaky feller.
Oh!
Where'd you go?
They said we're bailing.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I'm only gonna need 1 life for this, I think. Actually, no, I forgot. I literally redeployed.
Is that a decoy?
Oh, you bastard. You butthead. You can't keep dancing around my bullets like this. Maybe we should play this on stream. I missed this game.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
I'm gonna have to play on my alt account.
I was gonna say, I
though.
thought there was a 50-50 chance you would like launch this and be like, I kind of want to play again.
Yeah, buddy. Who just took my kill? How do I miss that? I'm about to start creaming.
Demon
bro.
killer, you demon. Oh, they're everywhere.
I am holding my breath right now, IRL and in the game.
Oh!
Look, I may not make every shot, but you know. Whoa, my movement! Holy movement!
Oh, the tracking.
All right, I'm getting in. All right, so that's Call of Duty Warzone. We probably won't play this again for a year.
Unless you all say down below, maybe we will. Maybe
this
we
game
won't.
usually runs pretty good. I mean, it's not a super intensive game on the CPU or GPU. Still hate this cooler. So you guys got to see us run some games on this Alienware, and overall, it games really well. It's like we said, if you bought this system to play any game out there at 1080p or even some light 1440p, you would definitely be happy with the system. But if you're like us and you kind of deep dive into temperatures and stuff, you may not love seeing this CPU kind of downclock and hold itself back because of that stock cooler. We think that this system would probably be worth close to that $1,500 price point if it actually had a liquid cooler or just a sizable tower cooler. But Dell really needs to fix the whole stock cooler things. I feel like this has been our main complaint for years now.
But we ran 2 more benchmarks to wrap up this video, and those benchmarks are as follows. We ran CS2, 1440p low, and it with an average of 486 FPS with a 1% low of 164.
And in 3D Mark Time Spy, we got a total score of 15,843 with a GPU score of 16,119 and a CPU score of 14,422, and that ends up being a 9 cent per point score. So for a pre-built in 2026, that's a pretty good cent per point. And overall, like we said, this isn't like a bad system. It does everything it needs to. It looks pretty Alienware and good-like, but we just really wish that stock cooler was not a thing.
So if you guys think this PC is a better deal than we think it is, or you think, well, maybe Alienware needs to have a liquid cooler or some more, sort of better cooler on the CPU in the future, let us know in the comments down below. And if you guys also are maybe waiting 5 or 6 years to buy this PC on eBay for a really good price, let us know in the comments down below, because that's always the meta when it comes to these Alienware desktops.
So we'll see you guys again in 5 years when we're reviewing this thing used, and we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
So this Alienware will be at PCBros.tech. A lot of the really cool pre-builds and custom builds you guys see here, go to PC Bros.
PCBros.tech is our own PC selling business. If you want stuff we feature here on the YouTube channel and a bunch of other cool tech, we also have the marketplace section, which has tech that you normally don't see for sale at most places. You could buy today. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You will save 3% of your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.